Welcome guys to the next update on the Fireball build. Let's go straight into what changed. Mostly the entire skill tree is gonna be new. I changed the weapons and I added up one of the new runes into the build, which is Pulverize. So let's look at the gear first. I crafted a Pierce 1 so I don't have to run the Pierce rune. Lucky on the cast speed. Yeah, some speed on it, some spell damage, some dot amplification. But other than pierce, speed, and spell damage, the other three stats are not that great. So not the perfect one yet. I got quite lucky on crafting this here with lots of fire damage, speed, damage against enemies affected by status effect, fire penetration, spell damage, and dot amplification. So 5.5 good stats here. Dot amplification helps a little bit, it's not too great. Not too great though, so quite good. Like the elemental penetration helmet with lots of armor on it and lots of resist. Full armor based spalders here with lots of armor, lots of health, and lots of fire damage, and a nice little poison resist here. Plus 3 spell damage on the skill rune on the body armor. Lots of health, lots of resists. I really want to craft a better one though, that has around 1000 armor later on, once I get my hands on one. Still the fire penetration gloves with damage against elites and elemental damage. Bunch of armor on it, but not too much, and triple resist, which is very good. Tier 10 area damage on the boots with 32 movement speed and 1 resist here. The suffixes are bad, so I'm gonna keep re-rolling them. Cast speed amulet, I prefer to have a elemental damage one here. But this is what I found and it's great, so I'm gonna use the cast speed one. With fire damage, elemental damage, hit rate, and poison resist, so 5 good stats. Dexterity not too great, but it helps a little bit. Health potion effect on the belt enchantment with recovery potion effect. That is only possible to craft due to the enchantment. And hit rating, a lot of it, and some cold resist. Not a great belt, but the recovery potion and the health potion, these are quite good. Elemental damage rings with projectile damage, cast speed, cold resist. Need to craft new rings, guys. These are horrible. Also double damage with cast speed and 1 resist, but it's not so good. The rings are not so good yet. On the blessing, I'm hitting 80% Capri blessing right now. I also want Castor blessing, but didn't find any good charms yet. So here's some good elemental damage, some damage while dual wielding, some health, some spell dodge at 80 mana. So that's the suffix here is not so good, but the 20% health, really nice. Lots of elemental damage again, and some hit rate, but this one is also kind of bad. It's only tier 1. So as soon as I can, I will replace that. So yeah, that's the charms. Obviously later on we want to get Capri to 140. Castor might be even better, but I haven't found any good charms for that, since it's more defensive. Like, Castor is all res, Capri is only fire res. Capri is a little bit more damage in the end though, so might be better. We get 4.8k health. The resists are quite good. Lightning resist is still a tiny bit missing, but once I level up the relic more, I will get there. So yeah, let's look at the skills. I am using Fireball. Got lucky on the Candor essences, so we already hit. How many did we hit? 7, I think, that worked out. So we could also level it up to 31 on the base skill. And then due to the stone here and due to the body armor, it gets buffed up to 35. So that's quite strong. I am using, let's go through the priority here. The number one priority is Persistence and Pulverize for the non-crit version. After that, Concentrated Area Damage. After that, Fire Penetration. After that, Quick Cast. And then last, Strike. Strike is not too great, but it still is a good bonus. Actually, I need to try if Projectile Deceleration might be a little bit stronger. I think this is better though. I think this is better. Seal of Condensed Elements for bonus damage. I haven't found the Seal of Strike yet. Release Elements as the offensive skill with increased duration and time acceleration. Seal of Defense as the defensive seal. Leap Attack cannot be used anymore, so let's remove that. Disarm and use count on the teleport, so that's the only movement skill right now. And also increased, I don't know why increased duration is linked to that. Don't think that's supposed to be. Okay, I like that, it's better. Increased duration, buff activation when hit, and time acceleration are all linked to Tenacious Regeneration. And then I have Lightning Chain, but that's only if the rare map has status effect as the quest, so I can kill monsters with afflicting status effects. Since my Fireball usually kills the monsters too quick, so I don't inflict a burn if the monsters get one shot. That's why I have this, so you can ignore Lightning Chain, you don't need it to play the build. Okay, yeah, that's my setup of the skills here. Alright, let's look into the relic. For the relic, I leveled Avatar of Alyssa first to 30. That gives us fire resistance and max fire resistance. And it also gives us the Hellfire effect, which buffs the fire penetration and all fire damage that we do, so that's quite strong. And here we even get fire energy upon casting buff, which is a 30% damage per stack, so usually we will have like 2 stacks of that, I think. Maybe it can stack up even higher. I just got that, so I haven't properly looked into that, but that's a nice damage bonus. And then as the second relic that I don't summon usually, I play Avatar of Leo to up my lightning resist. But here I advise you just pick the one that you need for upping your resist, whatever resist that you need. If you don't really need resist, I think Avatar of Scepter is the one. Yeah, this one gives a lot of damage, and here you get cast speed, so that is quite strong, and movement speed amplification on level 30. If you don't need any resist, this one is the one to go. Okay. Yeah, and finally, let's look at the talent tree here. I'm still a lot into int and strength, and a little bit into dex. The dex is only to be able to use these gloves here, for the 85 requirement. Don't think I need dex anywhere else anymore. So yeah, it would be good to get new gloves so I don't need the dex anymore, and I can split into int and strength instead. The int is exactly the amount that Fireball needs. So for most people that will be 221. On level 31 it's 227. And all the rest goes into strength for bonus armor and bonus health. I think strength is the best out of the 3 stats. Intelligence and dex are only there to be able to use your gear on my build here. Okay, let's look at the first trait. Going fully into damage. I didn't take the cast speed yet, because I was having a little bit mana issues. But if you can handle the mana cost, these 3 skill points here are very, very strong offensively. Here I'm taking all of the damage. On the third, again, a lot of damage I'm taking here and some hit rating, which is basically more damage. And all of the potion effects for health and mana potions. Except this one here. I might be still getting that later on though. Potion effect is quite powerful in the late game. In here we take strike damage, projectile damage, and some more damage here. None of these is good for us, so I don't go into here. On the 5th, the armor, health, and damage. On the 6th, I'm going into fire penetration here. Also, for the same reason as earlier, I didn't take the cast speed. If you can handle the mana cost, the cast speed is great. On the 7th here, I'm going into health and damage. And into more damage here, and some attack, some cast speed, and some more damage here. And also into potions quite heavily. Quite heavy into potions. Once I level up, I think I will get this skill point here. On the 8th, all of the dual wielding that applies to us. Big damage in here. All of that is very strong. And some defense by physical damage taken, dampening. And dodge disabled, but we get a big health boost. I think that's quite strong on any build that doesn't go into dodge. And for the final talents here, acceleration, lots of cast speed, movement speed, overpower for the penetration and the damage, and a big damage boost here. Big damage boost here, knowledge with cast speed and damage, and big damage boost here. You will take a little bit more damage from elemental damage, but if your resists are good, it doesn't matter. And on the final note here, the +2 projectiles, so we don't have to use multi-shot, and then area damage amplification, and even more damage amplification here, but the mana cost gets buffed up, so if you can handle the mana cost, that is probably the most powerful skill up here. Yeah, that's my build, guys, so far. I think the next thing I'm gonna try is crit, but let's actually look at the damage. I haven't done it yet. Right now for me, the non-crit version is still very powerful. So you can see on the burst we are going barely over 5 million, 5.2, 5.3 I saw. Without the burst it's around 4.5 million. So quite strong, quite strong.